Oh, hey, what's going on, everybody? It's Thursday. I almost said it's Friday. I don't know what day it is anymore. It's July 3rd. We've been off for a couple weeks. We're back. We're back. Just took a couple weeks. Ben and I had some birthday stuff going on, man. I turned 512, and Ben, what are you?
22.
22. Yeah, I turned 46 a couple weeks ago. Ben's 22 now. So here we are, a year older, a year more mature, ready to bring you the finest in sports news that we think is sports news anyway. We got a pretty good show for you. Later on, we're going to bring in my buddy, Rayshone Gullatt. Man, he's always ready to go. Anytime we got to talk about NBA stuff, man, I appreciate Rayshone. He's always ready to go. He is sitting in his car staying cool right now, so we're hoping he's still got the air conditioning on, and hopefully he won't be passed out from heat exhaustion when we go to him in a minute. But let's get to headlines, because listen, right before we went to air, I saw something, and I want to get it out of the way first. Guardians starting pitcher Luis Ortiz has been suspended by Major League Baseball pending an investigation into some kind of alleged gambling. Not a whole lot of details on it right now. I don't know if he's betting on baseball or if he's placing bets on another sport from the clubhouse. Really don't know any details. Just know he's been suspended. I assume indefinitely by Major League Baseball while they look into that. He most likely will not be pulling the interpreter defense.
Yeah.
In the light of Shohei Ohtani, but we'll see if he gets that preferential treatment. I don't know. I have no idea what's going on with this. I'm sure we'll find more details as they come. But
yeah, I was talking to a buddy of mine, and I was like, now, like, if he was betting on Guardians games and he was betting like on himself, it makes sense why some starts, he was going 6 innings, giving up 1 run, and other starts, he was getting, giving up 7 runs in 4 innings, and you're like,
I mean,
like, clearly he has the stuff, but why is he so inconsistent?
Hey, yeah, I don't know. I mean, listen, I don't know Luis Ortiz's contract details, but I don't know. I mean, what's the reason? Do you think supplemental income? I mean, why is it just an addiction? I mean, what's the reason? Do you think for? Who knows? Like I said, we don't even know the details of it. We don't even know.
Yeah.
It's hard to say. Yeah, we'll keep you posted as soon as we get more details. We'll let you know what's going on with that. Just real quick, I wanted to run through. We did softball a few weeks ago when we were on. I'll do baseball now. For the first time, OHSAA has 7 divisional state champions in baseball. So we just want to run through them real quick. Division 1, Lewis Center, Olentangy, the Braves, won a state title. In Division 2, it was White House, Anthony Wayne. Division 3 was Newark, Licking Valley. A lot of familiar names in here. If you paid attention to baseball through the years in Ohio, you'll notice you recognize some of the same schools over and over again. Division 4, Mentor Lake Catholic, the Cougars, won a state title. Division 5, it was the Waynedale Golden Bears that were your state champions. Division 6 was Berlin Highland. And in Division 7, team back really close to me, the Minster Wildcats won, I believe it's their 3rd or 4th state title. I'm not sure what it is in baseball, but I was actually looking at Minster as a whole, and mostly girls track and cross country, but they have 43 state titles as a school.
Jeez.
And you got to realize, I mean, a lot of these were division. They were competing against much bigger schools than they are. I mean,
who is this again?
Minster.
Oh yeah,
back home. Yeah. 388 kids from 7 to 12, from grade 7 to 12.
Yeah,
it's a pretty small school, so they were winning state champiships against much bigger D4 schools before we went to the 7 divisions. So again, congratulations to the Ohio baseball state champions. All state teams are out. All the Ohio prep baseball teams are out. That stuff is fun. You can Google that. A couple guys from Wapak made a couple all-state teams, so it's always nice to see that. Now I just want to move on. Listen, we've got a very special guest. You guys have seen him before. He's been on the show before. My brother, man, Rayshone Gullatt. He's always here. Let's bring him on to talk about NBA stuff. Ray, what's going on, man?
Yo, what's going on, my guys? How you guys doing?
Not too bad. We got a little bit of Robo Ray action going on right now. You sound like a robot, but that's cool. We can roll with that. I like that.
Again? Oh my gosh.
Hold on, let me see if I can. Well, hey, we're gonna roll with it. We're gonna see what happens.
Any luck?
You're not good. You sound like are you driving right now?
No, I'm parking.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm parking.
Hey, listen, you really never know what you're gonna see on this show, right?
No, I'm parking, brother.
I would laugh if you had like your family in the car, like going to get some ice cream or something, but hey, that's all right. So Ray, man, listen. There's a lot of interesting stuff, I think. For a guy myself, I don't watch a ton of NBA, but this is a pretty weird off season. There's a lot of stuff going on right now.
Yeah.
A ton of stuff, man. You know what? I might actually get you out of here and have you come back in if you don't mind, because I want people to hear what you're going to have to say, and I'm afraid they're not going to hear you. I'm going to kick you out of here. No offense to you.
Okay.
But you're the first person to ever get kicked off the show, Ray. You're about to get kicked off the show, but you're welcome back. 5 to 10 seconds, man. Come back in. We'll see if we can get your audio fixed. Okay, buddy?
Okay, take your time, man.
All right, here we go. All right, we'll wait for Ray to get back in. I apologize for that. Again, you guys don't see some of the stuff that goes on behind the scenes and beforehand when we do the show. We almost never have a show go off without a hitch, technically speaking. Like, we always have some kind of technical difficulty. Either, my computer doesn't want to start the live, the screen might you never know. Like, before the show, it's a nightmare. You never know what's going to happen. We usually get it fixed before we go on air. This time we're coming to you live with some technical difficulties, so that's pretty exciting.
Have you seen speaking of like going live in like sports live shows, have you seen so many people now are announcing their college like commitments on Pat McAfee's show?
Oh no, that's pretty cool. I really don't even watch that show, but no, that's pretty cool.
Like kid from BYU, a kid going to BYU did it. A 5-star that just committed to Oregon's doing it.
Okay.
So I like people of like around my age or people going to college, grew up watching Pat McAfee, and
cool.
The fact that they can go on there and pick their college is kind of cool.
That is pretty cool. Maybe we'll have one centralized spot for guys to
that show generates so many people, like especially younger guys that are like into sports talk shows and that like Pat McAfee's personality and just the way that whole show is just a bunch of goofballs that just hang out and talk sports for 4 hours a day.
Yeah. What a cool job, right? Let's get Rayshone back in. I think we've got him on here. Let's see if do you sound better?
Do I sound better?
No more Robo Ray. We're all good, man. We're all good. Ray, first of all, keep cool out there, man. We know you said you had the AC on. Make sure you keep the AC on. I know it's not as hot as it was last week, but it's still pretty hot out there.
It's pretty hot.
So what were we talking about? The NBA. Okay, off-season stuff. First of all, let me ask you a Cavs question. This is near and dear to your heart, So we watched the Pacers go on to Game 7 of the NBA Finals. They almost got it done, right? They almost won a championship against Oklahoma City. In the end, I think OKC was a little too much. Injuries kind of piled up on Indiana a little bit there. Should Cavs fans feel a little bit better about the fact that they know they lost to a team that got to Game 7 of the Finals, or are we not doing moral victories anymore?
I don't think. Number one, to start off, fantastic finals. I wish Halliburton didn't get hurt because I really would love to saw how that play out, and he knew it too. He immediately hit the ground. But fantastic performance by him and his teammates. Congratulations to the Oklahoma City Thunder. But to answer your question, no, because Cleveland fans were the same fans who just flat out thought for whatever reason Indiana was not that good. Yeah. So no, they should feel better. No, keep that energy. Keep feeling the way you were feeling. Oh, they're not that good. No one wants to see Indiana in the Eastern Conference Finals. No one wants to see them in the finals, and look at what they did.
Yeah, ultimately they were probably the most exciting ticket to watch from the East. I mean, the Cavs we know the Cavs now wouldn't have been that exciting of a watch, right?
Yeah, no, not against the Thunder. I don't even think against and I said this a while ago to a friend of mine, and he thought I was crazy. I personally think this year the Knicks could have beaten us.
Yeah.
Personally, I think
I agree with you now.
Yeah. So yeah, nope, keep that energy.
I was one of those guys, right? I said when the Pacers came up, I said Cavs in 5, maybe 6, right? Like they're going to take care of the Pacers. It's no problem. Those regular season games didn't mean anything because everybody was out. They did mean something. They did. They foreshadowed literally what the Pacers were going to do to win. They bullied the Cavs whether everybody was on the floor or not. So I was one of those guys. I was very wrong.
I will say this though.
Guys said 7, but yeah, we see how that turned out.
Yeah. I will say this though, while we're on the topic of the Cavs and the NBA, if the Cavs do not get out of the Eastern Conference next year, like you gotta could be time to fire Kenny Atkinson already. Like I know it's early, but dude,
Ben's a coach firer, man. Ben's a coach firer.
There's no Tatum, right? There's no Tatum. There's no Halliburton.
The East should be wide open. Yeah,
the East should. The only team you really have to contend with is the Knicks, right? Mm-hmm. And the Knicks just got a new coach, and you swept the Knicks.
Our old coach, one of our old coaches.
Yeah.
So here we go.
So if the Cavs don't even make the Eastern, let me say this: if the Cavs don't make the Eastern Conference Finals, I think you should fire Kenny Atkinson, right?
Okay.
Because like if you make it to the finals, right? Like, yeah, he did what he's supposed to. Like, yeah, he got to the finals. But if you don't make it to the Eastern Conference Finals in a wide open Eastern Conference, there's no excuse for that.
Okay.
You have the most talented roster that is still healthy in the NBA or in the Eastern Conference.
Okay. That's probably fair. Yeah, it's probably fair to say. Day has turned to night on Rayshone. I don't know what happened. I think maybe those are the lights going out for heat exhaustion.
Rude people calling me while I'm on the show.
Well, you're a celebrity, man. They see you going live, and they're like, "Yeah, I'm gonna call Rayshone."
Rude people just keep calling me while I'm taking care of business. You know.
Hey, you know what it is. Again, this show would not be this show without technical difficulties, so we welcome that. Let me ask you this: speaking of off-season stuff, we know. I'll get to the Cavs draft in a minute. It was, I mean.
Yeah, I want to
first round
respond
pick.
to that when we get back around to it.
Cool. Yeah, we'll get there. But listen, man, LeBron James, right? We remember that guy. He used to be a pretty good basketball player back in the day. He has opted into a player option. It's the final year of his deal on the Lakers with the Lakers. Well, first off, we don't even know if he's still going to be in LA, right? He opted in, but he still could be traded. I mean, he's supposedly got his eye on the roster. Let me ask you this first, okay? Because everyone's like, well, LeBron could demand a trade. I mean, does he still have that kind of pull? Does he still have the leverage in the NBA to do that to the Lakers?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, of course.
Yeah, he's as long as he's one of, I think, only one of, correct me if I'm wrong, Rayshone, but I think he's only one of 2 players that has a no trade clause. I could be wrong. I think him and
I'm not sure.
I think it's him and Durant. Or no, I think it's him and Giannis.
I was gonna say it can't be Durant.
No.
Well, I mean, it could be Durant if he agreed to the trade.
I think him and Giannis both have no trade clauses. Okay. I think it was 3 because I think Durant did have one as well.
Okay.
But it's one of those. Yeah, it's one of those things that's like LeBron's going to look at all these rosters and say, okay, what team gives me the best chance to win? Mm-hmm. And like, yeah, the Lakers
force a trade there.
I mean, yeah, the Lakers finally got their center that they've needed for years now. But that center's DeAndre Ayton. Dude hasn't played over 70 games since his rookie season. Like, yeah, like he's injury prone. He's not good.
I mean, he's probably the 36th to 40th best center in the league.
Like
DeAndre Ayton.
Yeah. Like, no offense, the Lakers are probably better playing LeBron at center at 41 years old than they are playing DeAndre Ayton at center.
Okay, that actually could probably maybe decrease some wear and tear on LeBron too.
I know it sounds weird, until he plays Rudy Gobert, and Rudy Gobert drops 20 and 20 on him in the playoffs again.
Yeah, well, they're not going to put him on Rudy Gobert underneath. I don't think they're going to do that right now. I don't know. Let me ask you this: any chance LeBron ends up back in Cleveland?
I think there is a small chance.
Okay, but not for next season, right? The Cavs don't have that kind of money, do they?
I don't know. Like if I'm obviously I'm a Cleveland fan. I want the Cavs to, obviously I want the Cavs to do well and, win it all.
Yeah.
But right, like obviously you need to make salary.
At least win most of it. Like win most of it. Yeah.
Because like obviously like with the whole second apron thing, like when you do trades, like you have to have salaries that match, right?
Yeah.
And yeah, LeBron's making $52 million, right? If you package Darius Garland and Jared Allen, I mean, Darius Garland's making $42 million. And Jared Allen's making like 13, 14 million. Yeah. So I mean that would match salaries, but then you're giving up an all-star point guard and a perimeter all-star caliber center. But
well, maybe, and we'll get to the draft in a minute, but maybe the player that was drafted, we'll get to that in a minute. I'm not going to give anything away, by the Cavs in the second round. If you look at some of the numbers, I mean, maybe they're kind of like thinking he can be a backup to a part-time starting facilitator. I will get to that in a minute.
I mean, one last thing before we move on. I mean, me and Rayshone talked about it last time he was on.
Mm-hmm.
We both love Craig Porter, right? It would give Craig Porter the perfect opportunity to shine because you got rid of Ty Jerome, right? And you're not going to start Sam Merrill at point guard, right? So you either move Donovan down to the 1.
Okay.
And you move Sam to the 2, or you bring in Craig Porter, who's a tough, physical, smaller guard. It's like Fred VanVleet, right? He's got to be tough. He's got to be physical because he's a smaller guard. He has to prove himself, right? Yeah. And you can leave Donovan to the 2, and then I actually like Strus coming off the bench, right? So if you get LeBron, right, you put LeBron at the 3, right? You could put Nance at the 4, Larry Nance, because we just signed Larry Nance Jr., and then you could finally move Evan Mobley to the 5, where he's a matchup nightmare for just about every single center.
Okay, that's
because
fair.
he can step out, he can shoot the 3, he can take inside, he can play D, he can guard 1 through 5 just about. So
we're still waiting for him to take that big step, though. He's taking baby steps. He's going forward. He's going the right way.
We are, but I just think, but like I said, though, I think it's the whole Anthony Davis situation. I think he's better of a 5 than he is a 4 because of his size.
Okay.
I think if he
really
was
quick,
matched up
you mentioned
center
Anthony Davis and you mentioned Giannis, and I got to tell you, I was looking into contracts over the next 3 or 4 years. Anthony Davis and Giannis Antetokounmpo are scheduled to make the exact same dollar amount over the next 3 or 4 seasons. It's wild.
Yeah, that's
the exact same dollar. I don't know if that's the absolute NBA max contract or what, but the exact same dollar amount down to the 10. I mean, it's wild. It's wild. Anyway, sorry. I thought that was interesting.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Ray, let me talk about, because we mentioned KD too. He just got traded to the Rockets. Heuston was a pretty good team last year, right? They finished second in the West. 52-30 last year. I sometimes you look at KD and you're like, well, he's an old man, but I mean, he also put up 26-6-4 last year as that old man. So I mean, is it realistic? I mean, do the Rockets with Kevin Durant have a chance to win an NBA title?
I don't believe.
Okay.
I think they're a good team, but I just don't believe. I don't think that I don't like the fact that they gave up Dylan in that trade. I think when you have a guy on your team who has the attitude of, if you're not wearing a Houston Rockets jersey, it's F you. I think it matters when you get rid of a guy who's willing to do any and everything in order to win.
Yeah, that's fair.
I think you miss out on your chances when you're giving up a guy who's willing to guard the best player on the opposing team and talk smack to them, and that way being able to give KD a break defensively, even though I don't think KD's a defender.
No.
It's just the fact that he won't have to work or put that much effort defensively on the other end.
Yeah. Well, and the effort's been down since the Achilles tear anyway.
I was just going to say that.
Yeah.
But before his Achilles tear, I mean, Kevin Durant was that, that tall, 6'11", wing that could block shots, get up there, play defense with some of the best wings in the league. And then he hurt that Achilles. And I mean,
that's why Chad, I feel for Halliburton so much, man. It's rough. That's a tough injury.
About this, Chad, we've talked about this all the time. Like how much injuries can not only change your game, but change your entire career.
I worry about tearing my Achilles just going down the stairs, man. So I mean, I understand.
Durant was.
I'm sorry. Go ahead, man.
No, go ahead. I was done. Go ahead.
Even before the Achilles tear, Durant, I never remotely thought Durant was a defender.
I didn't either. I didn't either. He was definitely better at defense before the Achilles tear.
Yeah.
But now he's non-existent on defense. He doesn't try, doesn't really give two craps.
It's kind of like the same thing I say about Jaren Jackson when he won Defensive Player of the Year. I just can't call a guy Defensive Player of the Year when he's constantly in foul trouble. And it's kind of like the same thing for me with Durant. I can't say you're a defender when you're 6'11" with a 7'4" wingspan. Of course, there's going to be some difficulty for people to shoot over you, shoot around you, however they score on you.
Yeah.
But and I think sometimes, with the media and people, everyday people that are fans of the game, I think sometimes they kind of miss putting those little things into perspective. Oh, Jaren's the Defensive Player of the Year. He got this many blocks. Does getting that many blocks mean you're a Defensive Player of the Year, or does it mean you're there at the right place at the right time?
Yeah, it's kind of like people getting excited about Wemby's blocks, and I'm like, well, I mean, he's taller than most of the arenas he plays in. So
yeah. You know what I mean? And it's just like I said about Jaren. If this dude's constantly in foul trouble, I can't give him Defensive Player of the Year. Now, where I do want to step back a little bit, because I know it's just so much going on in the offseason. I think LA picking up DeAndre was a fantastic pickup. I really do. That's a guy who's still able to play the game, rebound, can spread the floor. I think he
can stay on the floor. He's got to stay out there.
He's got to stay out there, and guarantee injuries happen. They're part of the game. But I think what's most important about Aiden, I think he may have humbled himself a little bit, with him having a bit of an ego in Phoenix, why they originally had to get rid of him and move on. And I think him going to Portland humbled him just a tad bit. And I think with him going on to a team where he for sure is not the best player or remotely the third or second best, it's LeBron and Luka. I think that's going to be very humbling for him too, and I think he is actually going to be very serviceable for them this year. And I think you're going to see him cause a lot of havoc for opposing teams. So I think that was a good signing. When we talk about the Cavs, I'm gonna just briefly go down the line. When we talk about the Cavs, do I think LeBron's coming back? I think he's only coming back when it's time to retire his jersey. Truthfully,
Yeah.
I don't. I
That
think
seems, yeah.
we hear about that every time. You know what I mean? Where he's like, "Oh, last year the contract, is he coming back home?" Blah blah. I just don't. I just think they just do it for entertainment purposes now. I don't think
sure.
LeBron's coming home until it's time to retire his jersey. But
Yeah.
I will say this about the Cavs that's keeping me like, okay, they still got my attention. Kobe Allman made a hell of a move. What, last week? That was a fantastic move getting Lonzo Ball.
Just
That
about to ask you about that. Yep.
I was shocked, man. I really was. Truthfully, if you want to ask me, you got almost like the perfect point guard, in my opinion. You got a guy who's 6'6", can defend 1 through 3, and he doesn't care about scoring. He is all about getting the ball to the open guy. And he's that guy where he is such a facilitator. He watches film to see where his guys like the ball. Okay, Jared likes catching it at this point. Donovan likes hitting this spot up open 3.
Yeah.
Like when you go back and look at other players Lonzo have played with, from the DeMars of the world, the Zach LaVines, and the list goes on and on, you will see how these guys say, yo, I love playing with Lonzo.
Yeah.
So I think we're in the Cavs. I think they are in the right. They're making the right steps. They're going forward. I still think you do have to trade Garland. Now this may be an interesting piece coming from me, is expressing how I felt about Jared. You may actually have to keep Jared, because at the end of the day, is Jared a bit soft? Do I question his heart at times? Of course. At the end of the day, the guy is putting up 15 and 12.
Yeah.
It's kind of hard to come across another center like that right now. You know what I mean?
And
It's true.
And going off what you said about him being soft, like I will say this now, like, yeah, you can call him soft all you want, right? But when you're constantly getting abused by guards because your coach refuses to let players stay on a pick and roll,
I agree.
it is extremely, extremely hard to play physical because they would call a foul on you every single time.
And think about how exhausting it is to try to keep up, too.
Exactly.
At that size,
right?
right?
When Kenny Atkinson does not let you stay on a pick and roll, when his whole defense on pick and rolls is switch,
fire him. I'm sorry. I'm kidding.
I agree. I'm just kidding. No, but when your whole defense is to switch every single pick and roll,
Yeah.
it is hard. Like, that's what killed us in the Pacers. You had Max Strus guarding Pascal Siakam because you switch every single pick and roll. They just set a back screen, and Max Strus gets caught on Pascal Siakam.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Like,
Lights out.
Tons of matches in that series.
if you're gonna do that, put Isaac Okoro in the damn game.
Okay.
Like,
well, can't do that anymore.
No, but you know what? But you
not
know,
gonna work.
You know what I mean.
The Bulls are gonna have something to say about it.
But even this year, put Lonzo Ball in the game.
I know what you mean.
Even this year, put Lonzo Ball in the game. He's 6'6", like Rayshone said. He can play defense.
Yeah.
Like
okay.
It just, I just think that, and I like I told my buddy, I said, right, like if his whole defense is going to be switch pick and rolls in the first and second quarter, not in the fourth quarter when the game matters most.
Okay. Fair enough.
Like,
Fair enough.
Players should have the ability to say, no, I'm not switching. It's better if we stay with this, right?
Yeah. Hey, listen, I'm sure a guy like Kenny Atkinson listens to player input. I don't think that it's, the golden rule of fist or whatever. He's just like ruling with an iron golden. I meant to say an iron fist. I don't know what I'm talking about. It's been 2 weeks off. Words are hard. Listen, okay. But yeah, I don't think he's like ruling with an iron fist or anything. I think Atkinson listens to player input, but I do wonder about that. I mean, you've talked about that before, and I've watched the Cavs struggle with that. I mean, it's a weird. It's weird when everyone sees it from the outside, but it's like internally they don't see it or make the change. I don't know why.
I brought up I posted a clip in a group chat I'm in with a bunch of my friends, right?
Mm-hmm.
That comeback that we had against the Celtics, where we came down from like 23 or whatever, right? If you watch that fourth quarter, they kept trying to get Darius Garland into that screen with Jason Tatum up top, where they would switch Garland onto Tatum, and Tatum would just abuse Darius Garland. We came back because Dean Wade refused to switch. He made Jason Tatum beat him one-on-one, And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying Dean Wade is a elite level defender, but 6'8" compared to 6'2",
Yeah.
like even if he's not a great defender,
the Cavs seem to have an aversion to size, and I'll get to that in a minute too.
Yeah, like that's what Rayshone was saying about Durant. Like yeah, Durant's 6'11" with a 7'4" wingspan. Of course, it's going to be hard to score over because you put your hand up, you can't see the hoop.
Right.
Yeah.
And like the Cavs came back. I actually went back and watched tape on this. The 2 games the Cavs beat the Celtics in the fourth quarter, they refused to switch screens. The one time the Cavs beat the Pacers in the playoffs, they refused to switch screens.
Okay.
You see a running occurrence here?
I mean, yeah.
But then every game they lose.
We all see it, but internally they won't change it. There's got to be a reason, right?
I mean, there has to be.
There has to be.
And Kenny Atkinson goes, oh well, it's at the beginning of the season. He goes, oh well, we want Darius Garland to get better at defense. Okay, don't stick him in a pick and roll with one of the best players in the league.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, or if
let's
you're
do that during the regular season, and then let's abandon that project in the playoffs.
Not even that. If you're gonna do that, do it in the first quarter when the game's not when the game doesn't matter.
Okay.
Don't do it in the fourth quarter. Yeah,
fair enough. Real quick, one more offseason thing just for the rest of the NBA, and then we'll get to a couple of Cavs things too. Rayshone, I'm going to ask you this. Any chance, maybe not this year, because I think that would be weird, but listen, 2 guys, again, that are going to be free agents after this season are Kevin Durant and LeBron James. Any chance we see them on the same team at any point in their careers?
I hope not, and not because I think they'll be unbeatable. I just don't like that type of, like, I don't know, like, oh yeah, you're the best player, I'm the best player, supposedly Durant. Yeah, let's link up and play together. You know, I'm just not too fond of that idea.
That's some AAU stuff to me, man.
Yeah,
that's
you know, that's literally my reason. It's not because I don't think they'll be unbeatable, because I don't think that at all.
Well, no, get out the icy hot. I mean, that's yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
that's the grumpy old men crew, right?
Yeah, exactly, man. It'd just be so, like, corny to me if they did that. I wouldn't be too fond of it. So yeah, I don't think that ever happened. Well, at least I hope it'll never happen. That might ruin basketball for me.
To me, the corniness is why I think it could happen, right? Like, I feel like that's a thing that happens in the NBA. It's so wild now.
Yeah, I mean, you never know. Essentially, you really know.
Yeah,
you really know.
Yeah, it's true.
Like, I just think if it did happen, I think it'd be kind of one of those things. Like, okay, like, you know, they're both retired. Like, if they both sign, like, say they both go to a team and they're like, okay, you know, we're both going to sign a 1-year deal, and that news comes out, you're like, okay, they're definitely retiring after this year. Because why would you team up, sign a 1-year deal to play with each other, to then just leave again after the year is over? Like if they're going to team up and they're both saying, okay, we're going to retire together, why would they sign a 1-year deal and then just go play somewhere else the year after?
Well, and listen, I mean, short of coming back to Cleveland for some kind of a farewell tour, I mean, could LeBron retire after the season?
I think so.
Okay.
Actually, no. I take that back. No.
Do you think he wants to see Bryce? I mean,
he's going to play with Bryce. I don't think it'll be on the Lakers. Okay. But I think he's going to play with Bryce. He'll play 1 more year, and then he'll call it quits.
Okay.
And I think
40+ years old. I mean, his career has been remarkable. Say what you want about LeBron.
Yeah, I think Kevin Love will do. I think Kevin Love retires when LeBron retires, and they'll both get their jerseys retired at the same time in Cleveland.
I thought Kevin Love actually did.
No, he signed a 1-year deal with the Heat, I believe, to come back on like a veteran minimum.
Okay. Oh, to come back. Okay, I thought because I could have sworn he said he was actually gonna, like, hang it up.
No,
okay.
I think he's just trying to still get those good medical benefits from the NBA.
I think maybe he did, but last time I saw, I'm pretty sure.
Sign me. I can shoot the 3. Like, come on.
Pretty sure he signed a 1-year like veteran minimum deal with the Heat to return, kind of like a Tristan Thompson rule.
Okay.
I could have sworn he sat it down, but hey, I'm not mad at him. I appreciate the respect.
But like I said,
and I weirdly feel like I haven't seen him on the court since 2016, since he defended Curry. You know, I've never seen him move his feet like that. Maybe that was the end of his career right there. But
he had a nice run.
Dude, how much longer does? Speaking of that, before we get on the Cavs, how much longer does Curry have?
Can't be long.
Oh, Curry can go about another 5-6 years.
Yeah.
Do you think a lack of success there is going to deter him from? I mean, will he just go somewhere else, or will he?
No way.
I think. See, I could see him play another 5 to 6 years, but I also could see him retiring the next couple of years too, because he said he had one more goal left, and that was to win a gold medal, and he accomplished that. He's accomplished everything in the NBA. He's won MVP. He's won Finals MVP.
Yeah.
He's won numerous championships. He's been an All-Star.
You couldn't blame him if a little bit of that hunger, a little bit of that was just kind of gone, right? Like,
yeah, he literally said his only goal left in basketball was to win a gold medal. And I don't know if you guys have watched that Quarter Gold documentary. If you haven't, to our fans, I recommend Rayshone. I don't know if you've seen it, but if you okay, after this, you guys have to watch it. It is one of the
after
best.
This. Don't turn it on now. Don't do that.
It is one of the best basketball documentaries I have ever seen.
Okay.
It's incredible. It talks about
what was it again? Say it again so everybody knows.
Court of Gold.
Court of Gold. Where can we find it?
Netflix.
Netflix. Gotcha. We can find everything on Netflix. That's okay. That's fine.
If you like basketball, you'll like this documentary. It's incredible.
Okay. Well, there you go. Netflix. There's a free.
And
I'm not a huge free for that. Okay.
I'm not a huge basketball fan, but I watched it and I was like, okay, this was really, really good.
Yeah. One more Cavs question for you, Rayshone. I don't know if you're gonna stick with us and talk a little bit about baseball, or if you want to get out of here. It's up to you. I know you're sitting in the car. But I have one more Cavs question for you. I know that no one ever expects to get any kind of value on the floor at the 49th pick in the NBA draft. Really, that's almost out the window after 10 or 11 these days. But the 49th pick, they drafted a player from Duke, never a bad choice. But we always talk about the Cavs. They have these opportunities to bring in these guys, these prototypical wing guys, right? 6'7" to 6'9", shoot the three a little bit, defend the wing, just give you a body that's a little bit more versatile. But instead they went with a 6'4" guy, Tyrese Proctor, who, listen, he's got some upside, I think, right? Sometimes not seeing the floor at Duke as much or not being the premier player at Duke doesn't necessarily mean you're not destined for a good career in the NBA. It just means you weren't the guy. You weren't the flagship guy at that time, right? No pun intended, Cooper Flag. But anyway, Tyrese Proctor, 6'4". He just signed a 4-year, 6'9", I think, $1 million deal. Doesn't matter. He's got a lot of upside. Listen, he played about 30 minutes a game at Duke, averaged a little over 12 points a game, 3 rebounds and 2 assists. But it's for me, he can shoot the three, right? He's 6'4". Shot over 40% from the 3-point line. I think it was 4th in the conference in the ACC. 4th in shooting percentage, 3-point shooting percentage, and threes made per game. But it's the assist to turnover ratio that intrigues me. 2.33. That's 25th in Division I history. That's 4th in Duke history. Could he be the backup point guard here?
I'm sorry. You go.
Yeah, it's Rayshone. Yeah, Ben, you be quiet for a minute. You're always on the show. Be quiet. I'm just kidding.
How can I say this? I stopped caring about the NBA draft after freaking not even after maybe after Luka got drafted. Truthfully, to me, it just, I don't know. Weirdly enough, it just kind of seems like, just like with a lot of things in life for me right now, it seems like so many things are tainted. I used to be excited about the NBA draft. I used to be excited about All-Star Weekend. I used to be excited about the NBA season as a whole. Yeah. Now I'm just only excited about the playoffs.
Yeah.
And
remember NBA on NBC, man? Man,
it's not the same, man. So I didn't even watch the NBA draft. I haven't watched it since like last year. And that was just to simply, even when I watched it last year, that was just to simply see Bronny get drafted and see the reaction, because that was history, of course.
Yeah.
But before Bronny, I haven't been watching it. But to hear that we drafted a 6'4" guard, it does not shock me. My friend, he said it years ago, and I thought it was hilarious. Not to say I didn't believe him. I just thought it was funny because he was speaking so passionately and frustratingly about it. He said, if you really look at it, Dan Gilbert is obsessed with small guards.
Yeah.
He said, if you really look at it, he said, look at it. Look, like he said, okay, we got to steal when we got.
Yeah. Oh, we lost Rayshone for a second. He'll be back in a minute. There he is.
Again, people calling.
That's all right. You were saying we got to steal when we got who? I'm sorry.
That's why this will be my last take, so no more of that crap. But if you look at it, Kyrie, that was a steal, right? We came up big time. But then if you look at it after that, from the K Fielders of the world fielders of the world we drafted. Colin Sexton, Darius Garland. Like from that point on, all these guards have been 6'2" and under, if I'm not mistaken. Not even 6'3". So to hear that now we upped the ante a little bit and got a 6'4" instead of a 6'2" guard.
Right.
It doesn't shock me, man. I'm like, okay, Dan Gilbert, clearly he's probably really obsessed with guards. I think he really is. So I'm not impressed by the pick at all. I have heard of the kid. I am decently aware of what he's capable of doing. Mm-hmm. I just don't think we need that. I think you personally should have drafted you a backup big man.
I agree.
We don't have that.
Yeah, that probably would have been the better move, right? Body down low. Yeah, I agree. Listen, the 6'7" and 6'9" guys that shoot 40% from the 3-point line don't grow on trees. I get that. I understand.
No. I mean,
but it's weird. It feels a little bit like trying to hope that lightning strikes twice by taking a 6'3", 6'4" guy from Duke, right? Like the unproven guy. I don't know.
I will say this. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know which one's wrong, but I looked up and it said he was 6'6".
Okay.
So I don't know. So we'll just say give or take 6'4" to 6'6". We'll say
let's call him 6'5". We'll meet right in the middle and say 6'5". He's still not 6'7" to 6'9", right? Like those.
Yeah,
he's not. But
if 6'6", I have less complaining to do. It's 6'6".
Unless they're gonna stick phone books in the bottom of his shoes, he's not gonna. Yeah.
On Duke's
but I still would have taken a backup center.
I agree. On Duke's roster, he's listed at 6'6", but the thing that scares me, right, is he's 6'6". He's only 183 pounds, so he's super, super skinny, right?
It's like,
so you can't play him at the 3 because he's super skinny.
No.
You want him to guard LeBron James at 6'6", 183. LeBron's just going to
That's
bully
why,
him.
to me, he's a backup point guard only at this point.
Yeah.
I mean, he can shoot a little bit, but I don't think he's there for his scoring prowess. He's there to be another guy who can knock down a 3 if you leave him alone.
Like, if I was him, I'd want him to get up close to like 200 pounds.
Okay.
To put on some more weight to play a little bit better defense. Yeah.
Let's get him in the school. Let's get him on the school lunch program. We gotta get him eating. Let's go.
6'6", 183. That's like you talk about guys that are skinny, like Chet Holmgren. He's super, super skinny as well, but I mean he can actually block shots and he's actually
he's the first player in NBA history. His mustache actually outweighs him.
He's shown that he can bang bodies with some of the big boys, but at 6'6", 183, right? You can't play him with a 3.
No,
because he's too small. You're just too skinny.
Yep.
So your only options are playing him at a backup guard, and even then, right? Like
I don't know how well he defends. I don't know much about his defense.
Exactly.
I don't
it's
know.
gonna be the same thing, right? They're just gonna get their biggest body they have, switch it onto him, and he's just gonna get abused.
Mm-hmm.
So
he's just another liability on the other end of the floor where you already have so many liabilities.
The one signing I will like that I do like that Kobe Altman did make as well was the Larry Nance Jr. signing, right?
Yeah, okay.
He's 6'8".
Like signing as well.
He's on the smaller side of a center, right? But he plays good defense. He can stretch the floor.
He can jump out of the gym too.
He still got bounce.
Yeah, he can. Like he's an Ohio boy, so he knows that. I mean, people that are from Ohio won't understand. When we say, it's Ohio against the world. Like he's got that mentality of it's Ohio against the world.
Yeah,
like
he's got a really blue collar guy. Yeah,
like he's got that mentality, and right, like even if you go into the season with him as your backup center, like obviously that's not like the best option in the world.
Yeah,
right, but
it's not the worst.
It's not. But then if Jared Allen does get hurt, or say Evan Mobley gets hurt, right, you got a guy that's 6'8" that can jump out of the gym. He plays good defense. He can stretch the floor. He can even pass the ball a little bit too.
Enough that you think he can play the 3 or no? Probably not.
I mean, you
could have a really big lineup out there with him at the 3, right?
Like Dean Wade at 6'8" playing the 3, and he doesn't pass the rock at all.
Okay.
So I mean, I think I definitely think you could.
Wade's probably the better shooter, though. I mean,
yes, but I also think that. But I think Dean Wade gives you a little bit more defensively.
Okay.
Or not Dean Wade. I think Larry Nance gives you a little bit more defensively.
Okay. I thought, okay. I wonder what you're okay.
I think Dean Wade's the better overall defender, but when it comes to like physicality and toughness on defense, I think it's Larry Nance.
Okay. Well, listen, they need some physicality and toughness. We saw that.
And I think
that was on full display against the Pacers.
If I was the Cavs, this might sound crazy. I would re-sign Tristan Thompson another 1-year deal if he wants to.
Okay.
Because I think the Cavs should have played Tristan more in that Pacers series and didn't. Right?
What about Kendrick Perkins? Do you think he would?
Yes. I make our whole bench a bunch of a bunch of centers that aren't afraid to get ejected or thrown out.
Sometimes I walk into the room and Kendrick Perkins is on my TV and I'm like, "Ew." Like I stop. He's still intimidating, right? Like it can still work.
Like when Benedict Mathurin punched DeAndre Hunter and that whole scuffle happened, right? That's when you put Tristan Thompson in the game and say, "Hey, go get 5 quick fouls and we'll take you out of the game. I don't care how you do it. I don't care who it's against. Go get 5 quick fouls. Go lay somebody out. We'll take you out of the game."
Have him get in somebody's ear. Listen, I know the Kardashians. I have connections, right? That's intimidating too. Like you don't want to mess with him. Rayshone, I'm gonna get you out of here. Listen, one thing I agree with you on is the NBA draft. It's not that exciting.
Yeah,
I think it's weird when you see a team take a guy 7th overall who's like 16 years old from France. You've never heard of him. He'll never make it past the G League. And somehow that's the 7th overall pick. That's not exciting to me. I can't co-sign watching that. That's not exciting. The first couple picks are great. I don't know what Cooper Flagg's going to do. I feel like, man, he gives me Christian Laettner vibes. Like really, really hyped up coming out of college. I know he's the better athlete. I know he's the better player. We'll see. I have no idea. I could be wrong. I hope I'm wrong for his sake. I mean, it doesn't matter to me. I have nothing against the kid, but we'll see what happens.
It's like the guy the Cavs drafted, the second guy, right? Yeah. He's playing over in, I think, Italy or France.
Sure.
And they're just going to leave him over there. They draft him, but they're just leaving him over there.
Yeah.
It's like,
which is so silly because one thing I will say about drafting,
and he's a center,
players, right? And one thing I will say about drafting those European players, they don't have the ego some of these American players have. These young kids, they don't have that ego. They're humble. They're willing to come in, work, and learn. Pop pretty much knew what we didn't know. Shouts out to Pop, man. Congrats on the retirement. I can't believe it. It reminds me how old I'm getting.
Dude,
he's been living in the year 3000 for a long time, man.
Seriously.
Before you leave, Rich, I want to speak on that because, like you said, like Popovich went out. He got Tony Parker, Manu Ginobili, all these European guys, and just built a winning machine for decades.
French facilitators, man.
And you look at it, and you're like, kind of like you said, did he know something we didn't know?
Yeah.
Like, just get a bunch of European guys that just, like you said, come in and just work, do what they're told, and heck, you might win 5 championships.
Yeah.
Right. Seriously.
Yep. Like, heck, if that's the winning formula, heck, why? I could be a coach.
No, the winning formula, Ben, is 6'1" guards. That's the winning formula. Just draft all the 6'1" guards. That's it. That's all we need. Listen, Rayshone Gullatt, our special guest, thanks so much for being on again, man. I know it's kind of like a moment's notice. It's been a weird week. I don't even know what day we were going to do this. So thank you for being ready. I know you just got your haircut. You're looking great, by the way, man.
Appreciate it, man.
Shout out to your barber. Do you have anything that's going on with you that you want to let us know about right now? I mean, is there anything that you're working on that you want to tell us about?
I'm thinking about bringing the podcast back, so you guys get ready for that because I'm going to have you on as guest.
All right.
But outside of my career, something personal, I would like please put my friend Randis Ramsey in prayers. He had a bit of a bad accident Sunday. He's doing a lot better now.
Okay, good to hear.
But just constantly want to keep him in prayer and thought. Randis Ramsey.
Of course. Yeah, we'll definitely send thoughts and prayers. Hopefully everything turns out okay. Let him know we're thinking of him. All right. He's the friend of the show. He's through you, man. He's an official friend of the show. So tell him that. I'm sure that'll mean a lot to him. That'll probably bring his recovery right back up to 100%. But I'm sure that's what's going to push him. But yeah, let him know we're definitely thinking of him either way. Again, Rayshone, thanks so much for being on. My brother, Rayshone Gullatt, everybody. Give him a round of applause if you're watching. I can't hear you, but I'm sure you're clapping. And I'll let you know when you can help us out again, man. I'm sure we'll be talking about some NBA stuff. It's been a wild off season already. You're always welcome on the show, buddy.
I appreciate you, my guys. Love you, brother. Call me when you need me.
Gotcha. Later on, brother.
Deuces.
Stay cool out there.
You know it.
All right, Ben. We want to move on here. I want to talk about some baseball stuff because it's almost time for the All-Star game. It's somehow here we are in the first week of July. The summer is going so fast. I know it's only been a couple of weeks of summer, but since my kids have been off school, it just seems like that time is flying. And maybe it's because we're busy. They say time flies when you're having fun. We're definitely having fun. But here we are. It's like at the midpoint of baseball season, and we're talking about fan vote stuff, right? I just want to talk to you. I'm going to go over the AL and NL All-Star starters as voted on by the fans. I don't know who's going to pitch yet. I have suspicions of who are going to be on the bump for each of those teams. This year, Ben, correct me if I'm wrong. Are they wearing? They're wearing their own jerseys and uniforms, right? There's no All-Star uniform for the game.
I have no idea.
I think that's the case. I thought I had heard that was the case. If it is, I absolutely love it. I don't like the All-Star uniforms at all.
You know, I've always said this, right? Like they always say, oh, it's an all-star game, right? But
Mhm.
like I think Tyreek Skubal and Paul Skeens should start. And if one of them's throwing a no-hitter, don't take him out. Leave him in. Let him throw a no-hitter. I don't care if the other pitchers don't pitch.
I think those organizations would have something to say about that. I think they would
I
say,
don't
"Hey,
care.
hey, hey, don't do that."
I don't care.
Well, they care.
I know.
And unfortunately, we have to follow the money. The money speaks, right?
That
The money
is true.
talks the loudest. And
See, like, but what I don't understand too, right, is like, why do teams allow their players to be all stars, but then you say, oh no, I don't want them to pitch? You're just taking up an all star spot from somebody that could actually pitch in the all star game. That see, like all jokes aside, that irritates me, right? Like you got
Fair enough.
guys that make you an all star game, and their coach is the manager, picks the guy for the all star game, but then doesn't pitch him, and it's like, why don't you just pick somebody else? So
fair.
then they can actually play in the all star game.
Yeah, I mean the prestige of going and sitting in a dugout, like we get it. We all know you were named. Now, if you're not going to pitch the guy, like you said, maybe replace him. I mean, I agree.
Like,
unless it's like his only all-star appearance or something, maybe he wants to be around. I don't know. That's a tough gray area. I get why you're upset about that, but that's a weird gray area for me.
it is. It just doesn't. Like I'm big on all accolades and stuff like that, and like if there's somebody that's on the border of like an all-star, right?
Mhm.
And it's the difference between signing a $30 million extension or being a free agent and having to go play in Japan. That person's gonna want that all-star bid to get that extension and stay in baseball.
Fair.
That's just my take, but
that's fair. Plus, I think it's a really fun weekend. I think it's just like
it is.
The whole thing is just a blast. Like everybody always looks like they're having a lot of fun.
I will say this: the MLB All-Star Game is like the only All-Star game now that I can actually sit down and enjoy the entire thing without getting bored.
Yeah.
Football's boring, basketball's boring.
They're both awful.
Like, and people say, dude, how do you watch the home run derby every single year? You're telling, dude, it's fun to watch these guys hit 550-foot tanks.
Yeah, it's pretty
fun. For 3-minute rounds. Like, that's fun.
Yeah.
Like people say, oh, well, they need to change it. No, they don't. Now, home run derby is perfect, literally the way it is. Like, now I would like to see them add like other skill challenges for like pitchers or like field, like
outfield throws, like put the trash can on the plate, right? Like a baseball camp. Yeah.
Yeah. Like stuff
bunting
like that.
Competitions.
But the home run derby is one of the most iconic all-star game events in any sport. And there's
agreed. I think it's right up there. If not, well, I think it's definitely surpassed the dunk contest now.
Yeah, the dunk contest is boring now. It
used to be a lot of fun.
Heck, Mac McClung could enter it the next 17 years and he'll win it for the next 17 years.
Right. I feel like I'm watching the old and one,
Right. But yeah, no,
he's not even an NBA player.
I will say this: as much as we dog on like Rob Manfred and the MLB for some of the decisions they make, and just everybody in general, not just us, but just fans in general.
Yeah.
One thing that I will say that they did get right is the All-Star game. The players actually tried during the game. The players actually played. Yeah. They actually want to win. They actually want to.
Yeah, that format works. Yeah. And I think a lot of people are starting to come around to the pitch clock now, and some people are even like starting to accept the free runner on second and extra innings. I think some people are starting to come around on some of that.
I don't like the extra runner on second base and extra innings, but
I don't love it. I understand it. I don't love it, but a lot of people I think are just maybe they're getting used to it more than coming around on it.
See, I think instead of it being like in the first inning of extra innings, right? I think if you go to like the 13th or the 14th or the 15th inning, then I think you should start putting a runner on second base, right? So you don't have these 17, 18, 19 inning games. Like if you get past like say, maybe the first 2 innings, maybe after the 12th inning, right?
Okay.
You put a runner on second base.
Okay.
So like I think that's what you should do instead of just doing it right away.
Okay. How do you feel about the impending replay? Or not the replay, I'm sorry, but the challenge of balls and strikes? Because that's coming. You like it? How do you feel about on the other side of that? How do you feel about players that were getting ejected for tapping the top of their helmets during games? Is that a little too much from umpires?
See, it is, and because if you look at all of them that got ejected, right? Like it wasn't really a tap, right? Like how when you're hitting, like you reach up, you adjust your helmet.
But you just like, it's coming off. Yeah. Like, especially if you swing and miss, right? Yeah,
exactly. They were adjusting their helmets, and they all got ejected for it, and it's so stupid. Like umpires are gonna have to realize that, like,
I think it's a little sensitive.
It definitely is, but when this thing when this thing comes into Major League Baseball, and it happens, umpires are gonna have to learn to suck it up. Oh, look, I was wrong.
Yeah, I mean,
need to
listen,
move on.
everybody misses calls. I coached my daughter's youth softball team, and we had an umpire the other night. He came over to me. He's like, "Man, I'm sorry, guys. I feel really bad. I missed that call." And all the coaches are looking at each other like, "Man, we don't even know what you're talking about. It doesn't matter. You're fine. Umpires are going to miss calls, man. Like, call the game the way you want to call. It's no big deal." Yeah,
And I
know there's a little more at stake in Major League Baseball. I get that,
but I actually think the automatic balls and strikes and being able to challenge balls and strikes will make umpires better.
Okay,
because
you might actually. And I'm not saying they don't know the strike zone, but you might be able to teach them. Right,
exactly.
Like those edges that you can't see. Now you can kind of tell, like, okay, well, if that's called, okay, that was a strike. I get that. I've seen that before. I get that. Yeah.
Right. Like I think it could actually help make umpires better. And then I think down the line, you could see maybe the automatic ball system or challenging balls and strike goes away for a couple of years. And if it gets bad again, you bring it back. But like you said, I think it could be one of those things where it's like, umpires might start watching film and being like, okay, that was called a strike. Now I know for next time.
Yeah. Okay. That
makes
sense.
Like they're gonna know what to call strikes and what not to call strikes. I think it's gonna help them understand the zone better.
That makes sense to me. Let me just go through. I want to go through the AL starters as voted on by fans. I want to make that perfectly clear because I do see a lot of comments on social media where it's like, MLB, you messed up. Get Ellie in there. And well, they can, right? It's a fan vote. You can't override the fans. So catcher in the American League, Cal Raleigh. I mean, obviously Cal Raleigh from Seattle. I mean, this guy's ridiculous.
Do you know that? Do you know his nickname?
What's his nickname?
Big Dumper.
A big dumper. I love that, man. That's great.
It's one of the greatest nicknames.
I doubt it has anything to do with his bathroom habits, but we'll have to ask the Mariners about that. 272, 33 home runs, 71 RBIs right now. The only AL starter with an OPS over 1,000, by the way.
It's crazy.
Or no, that's not true because Judge is over 1,000. So I guess he's one of two.
Oh, so now you're lying to us, Chad.
That's why I lied right live on Facebook and YouTube. It's terrible. First base, you got Vladimir Guerrero Jr. Whatever. Second base, Gleyber Torres for the Tigers. Third base, Jose Ramirez, our guy, right? We love Jose. Jose, love him. Shortstop, Jacob Wilson. Okay. Okay. I have something to say about this in a minute. Outfielders, Riley Green, Javi Baez. We all wrote Javi Baez off as being done with baseball, right? Now he's an all-star starter, hitting 296 with 9 home runs for the Tigers.
He's one of only like 4 players to start at 3 different positions in an all-star game.
Yeah, he's also the only guy on the American League starting roster with an OPS under 800. So there's that. And then you've got Aaron Judge. He obviously is deserving 350. Yeah, right. 358. I almost said 60 home runs. 30 home runs, 67 RBIs. Judge has had an unbelievable season. Absolutely ridiculous. And their DH is Ryan O'Hearn from the Baltimore Orioles. Probably not the guy the Orioles would have envisioned being an all-star starter by now, but hey, that's okay. The National League all-star starters. All right, catcher Will Smith from the Dodgers. He's getting jiggy with it too.
Wait, Will Smith plays for the Dodgers?
What's that?
Will Smith plays for the Dodgers?
He absolutely does. He's hitting 320, 10 home runs, 43 RBIs. Freddie Freeman's right, a carbon copy, right? Almost the same batting average, also 10 home runs, 43 RBIs. So he's the starter at first base. We've got Ketel Marte, second base, Manny Machado at third, Francisco Lindor, probably the worst stats of any all-star starter. Is that a New York thing that Lindor got voted in?
No, it's because it's a fan vote and he's popular amongst fans. That's
what I mean. Is it a New York thing? He's in the largest market, right? Lindor's hitting just 258 with 16 home runs, 774 OPS. So whatever. The outfield for the National League, Ronald Acuna Jr., who's impressed in a very short period of time since he came back from a torn ACL. Pete Crow Armstrong and Kyle Tucker from the Cubs round out the outfield. DH is none other than the gambler, Shohei Ohtani. I'm kidding. Shohei Ohtani.
I will say this, right? Like, yeah, I think obviously Ronald Acuna is one of the best young players in baseball, but I don't think he should have been an all-star this year just because he hasn't played that many games. But and that's part of the reason why I think it should be kind of like a 50-50 split between MLB gets 50% and player votes get 50%.
Yeah, they could probably do something to because, I agree with that. Yeah.
And who do you think should start at shortstop for the AL then? You don't think it should be Jacob Wilson?
Probably should be Jeremy Pena, don't you think?
I haven't looked at his stats, but
you just saw him play. He's hitting 322 with 11 home runs. He got an 867 OPS. And I think
he was out when we went. He was out when he
didn't play. Okay. Well, he's been much better defensively than Jacob Wilson. You can look at the defensive metrics. You can Google all that. I'm not going to get into the numbers. He's been much, much better in almost every conceivable defensive category. He's been better than Jacob Wilson. I know Wilson's the flashy kind of a thing because it's the Athletics. They're playing in a AAA park, and he's a rookie, and we all tend to turn our eyes toward the prospects and the rookies, but I think Jeremy Pena's had a better year overall. I feel like Pena should have been the starter there. I feel like a couple other guys that got, the National League starter at shortstop probably should have been Ellie De La Cruz, no?
That one, yeah, definitely should have been Ellie.
Okay. And then a couple outfielders round out my guys who I think got snubbed in the American League. Byron Buxton's finally healthy, right? Like Byron Buxton, if you've ever played a baseball video game for the last 100 years, you see Byron Buxton sitting there with 99 power. And you're like, why isn't this guy hitting 45, whatever? Well, he's been hurt, right? This year for the Twins, he's at 277. He's got 19 home runs right now, 51 RBIs. OPS is it's creeping up to 900. He's having a really good year.
Did you see the altercation or the interaction between him and Skubal?
No.
So Tyreek Skubal in his 119 career starts, he had started every hitter with a first pitch fastball.
Okay.
And Byron Buxton, 66% of the time, swings at the first pitch.
Oh, yeah. He swings out of his shoes. Yeah.
So Tyreek Skubal was facing Byron Buxton, and first pitch, Tyreek Skubal throws him a changeup.
Okay. Smart.
And he didn't swing. And so then the broadcaster's like, okay, so this is the fastball, right? Throws him another changeup. And then I think he popped out or something like that on another changeup or something.
You're getting changeups until you swing, man. That's it.
But it was funny because they were showing all these stats about how he's notoriously only thrown fastballs for his first pitch and how Byron Buxton swings at the first pitch, and he throws a changeup, and Buxton doesn't swing, and they're all like, "Oh well, I guess that didn't work."
Yeah, that's smart. Listen, you can't throw first pitch fastballs to those guys who are assassins, right? Like you can't do that. The guys who are ready to jump on it, you got to go something off speed. I think that's smart.
It's just funny though because they're just like, "Well, that didn't work."
That's awesome. And then my last guy that I think got snubbed is in the National League in the outfield. Maybe if you don't think Ronald Acuna Jr. should have been the starter, maybe it should have been James Wood from the Nationals.
I agree.
I mean, the Nationals are terrible, but listen, that makes it even more impressive. Wood has no protection in that lineup at all, right? None. He's hitting 283 with 22 home runs. He's so young, 65 RBIs. Again, yeah, the OPS. I keep wanting to say ERA. Words are really hard. Letters are hard.
It's because you're a pitcher.
I am a pitcher. I don't care about OPS. I just want ERA. But 934 OPS for Wood. He's so young. Maybe he should have been that third starter in the outfield, and maybe Buxton over Javi Baez. But again, it's a popularity contest. It's a fan vote, and that's okay. That's how it's set up. So these are the starters that we have. The guys that I read through. You can let us know in the comments if there's anybody that got snubbed that we missed, or if there's anybody that maybe plead your case for Javi Baez if you're a Tigers fan, whatever. I don't know. But I'm looking forward to. Actually, I'm looking forward to the All-Star game, especially if they're going to wear their normal uniforms. I love that. I love the way that looks.
Me too, yeah.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Going back to I love the uniforms. Mm-hmm. I think what they should do is just change the hat design every year, right? Like give it stars or do something like that. Like just change the design of the hat because people are gonna because when you go to a baseball game, obviously you're gonna want to buy a jersey, right? But I'm a hat guy, right? Anytime
I want to drop $65 on the All-Star version of the hat, right? Yeah,
right. And that's the coolest thing. I went to Houston.
No one was buying those jerseys, Ben. Those jerseys were awful.
No, yeah, they were awful.
They were terrible.
What day's the All-Star game?
I don't know offhand. I don't know what weekend it is. I have been that busy that I haven't even looked ahead yet. I mean,
let me see if I can find it really quick.
Yeah, the logistics of this summer have been insane for me. I rarely know what day it is until my wife tells me, "Hey, it's this day, and you have to be here at this time." It's usually running about 10 to 15 minutes late at that point. So
right.
That's how my summer's gone. Are we looking at next weekend?
We might be.
Not this weekend, right? We got our guys in the truck, which is just Ben sitting over there looking on this, but we're going to find that out.
The Home Run Derby is July 14th.
Okay, so yeah. Okay.
So
all right. There you go.
Does that mean the All-Star game is Tuesday, or do they push it all the way back to the weekend?
Oh, I don't know. We'll have to look it up. We'll have that for you on next week's show. We'll figure out a little more. We'll know what we're talking about next week. We plan on being back next week. Sorry for the 2-week hiatus.
It's Tuesday, July 15th at 8 p.m.
Okay, there you go. July 15th, Tuesday, 8 p.m. on Fox?
Yes. Yes, on Fox, yep.
Okay, cool. Yeah,
at Atlanta Braves Stadium.
Yes, finally. And listen, it would have been nice if the Braves could have hosted this thing back when they were good. But even the year that they were supposed to have the All-Star game, they weren't that good until they won the World Series. So,
but I think though the Braves hosting it at their, newer ballpark, I think it'll be cool because I think that park finally deserves like another big event other than obviously the World Series is the biggest event that you can get. But to get the Midsummer Classic,
everybody's eyes are going to be on that.
Yeah. Like I mean, you're gonna.
Although I do feel like a lot of people watch to see the Astros go down. I feel like a lot of people watch that World Series to see.
But not only that, like not only is it just going to bring a lot of money for the Braves, it's going to bring a lot of money for the city of Atlanta because people like to make the whole All-Star thing like a whole like week long thing.
Yeah, well, listen, it won't be the stadium's in Cobb County, so Atlanta is actually a little bit of a jaunt from where the stadium actually is located. It's about a 20-minute drive, so I don't know. I mean, the thing about the Braves complex is they were the first team to really do the first professional organization to buy enough land to build their own things around. Like they didn't have like a plot of land where you can fit a stadium and then like the city's in charge of parking. They're in charge. I mean, they reap the benefits from all of the parking, the restaurants, the entertainment, the shopping. They own all that. So that's like, again, this could be a golden ticket for the Braves to maybe finally go after that big free agent, but we know they won't do that.
No, but it just like to have that park, like you said, where they get, it's kind of like the Browns with the new stadium in Brook Park. Like, they're going to get all the revenue from it. They're going to get all that. Like,
all of our unclaimed funds sitting in whatever.
Like the Braves are going to get all that revenue. And not only just that, like that's revenue that like, you could save for like, oh, we need a renovation. Oh, well, look, we got all this money for the All-Star game. Let's renovate this.
Well, and they don't have to fight with the city, right? They own the stadium. They own the land around it. They can just renovate whenever they need. Whenever they see fit. They've already paid the stadium off. They paid those loans off early because of the way that they did it. It's a brilliant business decision.
That's super brilliant.
Yeah, one of the really, really good decisions the Braves have made.
I want to get to that park. I want to get to the new park. Fortunately, I wasn't able to make it to their old park, but
I've been to Turner Field. I have not been to Truist yet, though. So I'm looking forward to seeing that at some point in my life too.
So, are they taking Turner Field down, or what's the plan with that? Do you know?
Right now, I think it's being used by, I don't know offhand. I think it's being used by one of the colleges down there for something.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's being used right now. So it's a facility that's definitely being used,
which is good.
I just don't know to what capacity and what state it's in. If it gets the same attention as it would have before with repairs or whatever. But it's not that old. 1997 is when it opened up, so it's not that old. Still a really good stadium. But hey, we gotta get out of here for this. Speaking of not that old, we are not that old. We're not that old to watch the clock. I know I need to get out of here. It's been an hour. I can't believe it's gone this fast, man. I thought like we were gonna have trouble getting through an hour. I didn't feel like I had that much content for today, but here we are. We buzzed right through 60 minutes, and I have some things to do. So I'm gonna get out of here. Again, we're gonna be back next week. We'll have a little more MLB All-Star stuff. We should know maybe starting pitchers or at least maybe we can, try to forecast who we think is going to be on the bump for the All-Star games for AL and NL. And we should know a little more about the whole pitching staff. I think this is when managers start naming their pitchers. So we hope to know a little bit more about that next week. We'll talk about that. And if anything goes on as far as any Browns news, I'm hearing rumblings that Shedeur Sanders may be cut. I don't understand it really right now. He looked, I thought, really good in their mini camp, whatever. We're hearing that Dylan Gabriel and Kenny Pickett may be the two guys that they're looking at going forward. I don't know where that leaves Joe Flacco either.
I'm fine with that.
What's that?
I said I'm fine with that.
Hey, whatever. We'll see. Yeah, you're great with it. Steelers fan. We'll see what happens. We've got that, and then obviously we're always lining up guests. We've got people that are trying to work out whatever situations to be on the show. So we're going to have a lot of good guests for you coming up as well. Just a lot of baseball and a lot of football stuff to get to as we wind down. I mean, it's the beginning of July. It's almost time to kind of maybe start previewing. We can start looking at the Buckeyes. We can look at college football. Might get a two deep we can run through and kind of figure out who's going to be on the field for the Buckeyes. Just a lot of stuff to talk about that's coming up. So we'll get to that over the next few weeks. Don't worry. And until then, thanks for watching today. We appreciate you guys. This has been another episode of the Sports Show with No Name. I'm your host, Chad Bryan, for my buddy Ben Bales and our special guest today, Rayshone Gullatt. I want to thank you guys and thank you for watching us. We'll see you next week. Bye-bye, guys.